what resources do you need? And I think once you analyze those main concepts, you can really build your, or not build, but complete your venture or idea. Because with me, it was my resources. I needed somewhere with a wind tunnel. I needed smart people. And who is it helping? It would be helping the earth. And so I targeted people that wanted to be green.
And you know, it's important to remember that if you do know of a company or a government agency or a school or something that has resources that you need, you can't be afraid to just ask them. Companies and businesses, they love working with groups that have like new ideas because it helps change the world, and it gives them good publicity, and it's pretty much just mutually beneficial. So it's always important to just try your best to get all the resources you need, not just give up beforehand.
Yeah,
and I think
you go.
I just think that there's kind of a stereotype that like adults don't want to help kids because nobody believes in a 12-year-old, but I really have found through GreenShields that that's just not true, that people are really willing to help you if you demonstrate your passion like Johnny does, and if you really have a good idea and you're organized and you show that your idea is worth investing in, then people really want to help you.
Exactly. And
we're not even this isn't not just like limited to GreenShields. We went to a gathering of like many youth groups funded by Youth Venture, and there were literally hundreds of groups run by kids, and they all had like fantastic support from their local communities and from the government. It's not just like GreenShields got lucky, it really is possible for kids to change the world.
Exactly, and I think that any of you kids that are here, if you're thinking that you can't do something just like this, well, you really can, and if you want motivational support, call Youth Venture, because
or us.
they really, their whole motto is taking kids, because they believe that kids are the future, and if you start development young and you really start being a change maker as a young person, you can be so much greater when you're older. And when I went to Youth Venture, I recently received a Jefferson Award, and there are several other kids that were there from Youth Venture, and they really, it was just also inspiring to see other kids just like me taking advantage, just when they're young, of resources and really accomplishing and making a difference. And
Youth Venture, for you guys that aren't familiar with it, it's the organization that gave us the original $1,000 seed grant. And I mean, you can just look it up. It's called Youth Venture, and it's an organization that just is devoted to giving grants and support to younger kids that want to change the world.
And and also they really, if you have an idea and you really aren't confident about it, you can go there, because it's always, no idea is a bad idea.
Online.
Yeah, online, and also you can call them, because it's quite a big organization, and they only gave us $1,000 as a seed grant, but I'd say that all of their resources is completely priceless, and it really that was the bigger help. Okay, and I think now, anyone else has anything to say? Okay, we were going to say, anyone? Okay, because what now you can ask question and answers. Okay, yes?
What's the current status of GreenShields?
Oh, okay.
This is our grandpa.
Okay.
I'm a plant.
The current status, which is future stuff, is going to be this summer. I'm so excited, and Tim's also excited, because we are going to get to work this summer again at Northwestern, which is such a great opportunity because we make so much progress here. And this summer we're designing, it's going to be version V4 green shield, and it's a nice, pretty small green shield that's going on the front, like about here. Oh, yes. Okay. It's going to be here, but it's going to be sort of like a bug shield, and it can be applied not only to school buses, but to semis and other modes of transportation. And, well, not semis of transportation, but okay, buses. And it's smaller, and we decided because we don't need windshield wipers on it, and it's much cheaper, it's going to be less than $50, and we're aiming for somewhere around a little bit less than 10% miles per gallon increase.
Because we built the full green shield and we tested a prototype, and it worked really well, but a lot of people are hesitant to put a huge sheet of polycarbonate right in front of their bus because they're afraid it won't pass the windshield regulations. It needs windshield wipers, there'll be glare. So our goal is for this summer to create a green shield that can be used for mass production. Like we can sell a green shield and actually have people put it right on their buses and apply it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to take the next step to make this a real world item.
Yeah. Yes.
Are there any buses out there now that are this out?
We have, the only school bus that we have is the one that you saw in the photos. But that school bus, by the end of this, is very cool. I am involved at this club at my school called Green School Initiative, and it's it's made to Green School Initiative, and
Makes our school more green.
through them, I was able to find the Heller Nature Center. They want to put it on their school bus by the end of the summer, and that's going to be really cool because it's totally fitting, because Highland Park High School is also going to make biodiesel for them to use in their school bus.
So basically, this will be the first bus that's on the road actually transporting kids around with a green shield on it instead of just a test.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
how long have you been working on the project?
Yeah. Well, I've been working on the project since I was in 7th grade. Well, since I was in 7th grade, but I really started, we really started making progress last year over the summer with Tim, and that was really cool.
So is that 4 years, 5 years, 3 years?
That would be, well, since I was in 7th grade, that would be 5 years. But, I mean 4 years, but okay.
He actually is really good at math.
Okay, yeah?
Yes, I want to start a boarding school for kids that think outside the box, writing scripts and plays about their lives and being on a live stage. And I want to know how to go about getting them coming.
Wait, can you say that again?
She wants to start a boarding
Boarding
Oh,
school
yeah, I
for
heard.
kids.
for kids,
And
and she wants to figure out how to get funding.
Oh.
One of the best ways you can get funding, there's lots of companies that have things like the Refresh Project that Pepsi did. Obviously, I suggest the Pepsi Refresh Project because they have, there's multiple categories of the Refresh Project, and education is one of them.
And so is
that
the
would be
arts.
perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Also-
Yeah, actually, you get both, education and arts. But there's also other companies that if you look around, I've heard of lots of companies, I just can't think of the names right now, but.
just
just
Google
look
like
up- Yeah,
grants.
Well-
just Google
Act-
ways to get grants, and you'll find lots of options. People are very willing to help out new ideas
Yeah.
like
You
this.
said that one was called Kickstarter?
Yeah, I
Kickstart, yeah.
I think one of the bigger things is if you contact, because I assume if it's a boarding school, it's going to be for kids. I would contact Youth Venture because they have so many resources for getting bigger grants, and that sounds like a wonderful idea. And the Pepsi Refresh Grant, it is quite challenging now because they did advertise a lot, so it is hard to get, but it is still doable. Because it's really kind of cool though if you get to be in the running, because you get to really use your entire community, and people hear about it and they become really interested. But I think that there are tons of other grants that aren't really as well publicized or people aren't as informed about. And I know American Express does certain grants, and I know Youth Venture does many
And
seed
Best
grants,
Buy.
and Best Buy does grants, and Youth Venture really is a great place to start because they can give you places where you can apply to grants that are specifically for your idea.
And if you need a bus, we'll totally put a green shield on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the final objective, to get a marketable product that you can actually
you person in a market to create a company?
Yeah.
Or just to sell the idea, or
The,
what are
the
you trying to
final,
achieve?
the final goal of this is to basically create and sell GreenShields.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah,
Define that.
well, the main end goal, which we were fortunate enough to be able to, we had a meeting at Harvard Business Schools with several, there's a professor there and he wanted to help. And so we discussed, the problem is we want to get it on as many school buses as possible, so we are going to release like the plans and designs. Right now it isn't patented purposefully, and I think that we want to get it on as many school buses as possible, and so we developed an idea thinking that what we can do is finance several school like GreenShields, and hopefully start so that they could pay us back and try and get more and more school buses and potentially
So that we can
make
more
us,
buses.
yeah, more buses with GreenShields, and hopefully it'll start small and grow and grow.
So there's a profit, is what you're going after, it's not, you know,
Well-
realistic, or is it both?
Well, have you ever seen, there's some new buses out where they're a little bit more aerodynamic, that
Right.
the windshield is a little bit farther up, and basically, if we can get all the buses to just become more aerodynamic without having to put a green shield
Yeah.
on, then that's fantastic too.
That's-
The main goal is to help schools save money on gas and help save the environment by reducing emissions. And right now, the biggest effect we can have is by using our green shields, but if bus companies actually change their buses, then that's just as good.
So are you working with the bus companies? Have you-
Yeah.
We are working with the bus companies.
We've been we work with Cook, Illinois, who has a big influence on right now it's very close to monopolized. It's by IC International or something. And so the problem is that they are making their school buses slowly more fuel efficient, but the only really awesome green one is the diesel hybrid school bus, it's like a plug-in. It's really cool, but that costs more than $150,000, and which is almost double, or actually double what a regular school bus costs. And so there's no real incentive for schools to get it because people only love green things so far up to the point at which it costs them more.
And also, something that was important to us as students is that, I mean, if schools are spending, so school buses get around 4 to 6 miles per gallon, which is in itself very alarming. And so beyond just the green aspect of it, of reducing the emissions, we also don't want schools spending that much money just on gas when there are so many other things that are lacking in our schools. So that was important to us as students, that the money could just be redirected towards more important things than just spending on gas.
Yeah.
You have grant writing workshops that you recommend. How did you learn how to
Yeah.
write grants?
Okay, this is actually something that's awesome. Any people that have any ideas should contact Youth Venture, because at the summit, there's this thing every year and we're presenting at the summit. They do have grant writing workshops specifically for that, and that's really awesome because you can learn great things to make your idea stand out. And Youth Venture rarely refuses any kind of funding, and so I think that that's a great place to start, and I think you had a question.
And wait, also, so I wrote a lot of the grants for GreenShields, and my personal advice is that, and it's cheesy, but I mean, practicing, just like writing out a lot and spending time on it and not doing it the night before. We landed that a lot, but.
Do you actually go to take a couple-hour workshop or a half-day thing to actually learn how to grant write?
Yeah, it was
Well,
at,
I've never taken a grant
at the
writing
summit.
workshop. I
There's-
didn't go to it though.
Okay.
But I really think that, grant writing is just pretty much persuasive writing. So, here's a Northwestern plug. I actually took a persuasion and debate class here when I was in 8th grade. And so, I mean, the persuasion aspect of that obviously helps. So, I mean, it's just something that you can just work on and practice. And, I mean, most grants ask for, why is your project deserving of this grant? And what exactly will you do with the money? So, as specific and persuasive as you can be is just...
Also, the more you write,